and welcome to the best bits of last week's shows.
Coming up, we've got the incredibly funny John Cleese, the incredibly rich Duncan Bannatyne, and the incredibly beautiful Miranda Raisin.
We also have David Cassidy, Richard Bryars, Jason Donovan, and Sir Rolf Harris.
But we start with the comic genius that is John Cleese.
Hello again.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Hi.
Good. I want to know all about your niece.
It's thanks to you.
Brilliant.
I know. Well, I sort of bullied her a bit, didn't I?
Yeah, you
Yes,
did.
you did.
Thank
She
you.
was just a little bit...
And you followed it up with a couple of trenchant emails, and 2 weeks later, she's under the knife.
Yeah, and it worked. It really worked fantastically.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
You both
so
have the same
am I.
thing, cartilage
Yeah,
issues.
yeah. And as I just pulled the trousers up,
Oh,
and the
please.
extraordinary thing is, they're so clever now. You know,
Yeah.
we're so lucky to be
What, to make
living
jeans
now.
that tight?
Well,
Yeah.
the guy made a little cut here,
Yep.
about a third of an inch,
Yeah.
and another one there. And then they go in with the microsurgery, and he cleaned it up. And then I went back and he gave me 3 injections that were made from stuff, you won't believe this, from coxcombs. You know, when you have a cockerel with
Yeah.
the thing on the top?
Yeah.
Well, they take that and they grind it up.
Lucky
After
cockerel.
it's dead,
Yes,
after it's dead, and inject it. And
Really?
this is now a strong, I mean, this is really strong,
Hang
doesn't
on, I
click.
didn't
She's
have
not
the
a coxcomb.
coxcomb.
You didn't have
what does that do?
Well, it's a lubricant.
Yeah, it's sort of, well, and it would presumably helps, yes.
I feel deprived here.
All right, well, we can get you back in, Judy. I know of a cock
I've
locally.
got some in the dressing room. So I don't have any anaesthetic.
That's terribly Shakespearean, isn't it? I had a tincture of coxcomb. Well, did I ever tell you about my vasectomy?
Oh, shut up.
When I had my vasectomy done, about 20 years ago, and they gave me a local. You have a choice. You can have a local or a general. So I opted for a local because I thought it was safer, and it was okay at first. And then when he got to the business part of it, you know, which is the old vas deferens, the tube, well, it was like I was under the Gestapo. It was terrible. And as I shrieked and begged and plucked and pleaded for mercy, this guy doctor went down and said, "Yes, you've got an old sporting injury there, I think. You've been kicked in the bollocks." I said, "Well, yes, I think I was a few times." You're quite right. You're quite right. So bloody sports is what does
I
it.
love the British doctors. They're a bit like that, aren't they?
He said,
there's nothing to worry about, old boy. You're going to be dead in about 5 minutes.
Exactly.
But don't worry. This is absolutely normal.
Exactly.
Anyone with your condition will be dead in 5 minutes. Nothing to be alarmed about.
He said, "I've gone too far now to back out, old boy. I've got to finish." It's shocking.
You were green
Anyway.
when you came out.
See, I came out because you can't drive when you had a vasectomy. So, Judy, those are the days
Wait
when
a
you
minute,
drove.
just connect that. You can't drive immediately.
Immediately,
after you get back to-
ever again. Never again. And once those tubes are cut, your discharge. Left, right, I don't know. Anyway, so Judy's in the waiting room, and I was the last. I was obviously M for Maidley, and all the other guys must have had surnames beginning with letters that came before M, because I was the last in, and everyone else had come out quite cheerfully and thumbs up to the wife or the girlfriend in the car and off. And I came out and I was green, and Judy looked at me and said, "My God, have they cut it off?"
Awful.
Felt like it.
It was terrible.
Yeah, yeah. And you moan about childbirth, you women. Jeez.
Yeah, they do make a fuss about that.
Speak
don't
it, they do.
God.
On and on. Can't
Whinges.
forget it.
Oh, dear me. Well, since I saw you, I've had a hair transplant.
Like that.
Since we're talking operations, they went in, they took a strip off the hair, and another one there, and another one there. I'm not kidding. The one off here is about that wide, wide, and only about that tall. They take the strip off.
Wow.
And
They
then
then
what?
take the 3 strips off, and they put them under a microscope, and they cut them up into 800 things.
It's like your coxcomb all over again, isn't it?
Well, no, they're much,
no.
much bigger than that.
All right.
Yeah.
Because that's ground up. But then they make 800 incisions on your head, and they put the 800 in the 800. And then what happens is the hair, which was shaved down to about 1 millimetre before they actually transplanted it, the hair suddenly goes, "Ah!" and falls out, and then nothing happens for 3 months. And then in 3 months' time, it starts to grow again.
Fantastic. Why did you do that for? You looked all right before.
Because I've got a strange shaped skull, I'm a bit pointy, you know, and I hate wearing wigs.
Okay.
The whole thing takes 4 hours and it lasts for the rest of your life.
Right.
Does it cost an absolute fortune?
It costs a fair amount, but you can get it off tax if you're an actor, you see.
Oh, right.
Well,
you
it's
set
to
it
do
off,
with
yeah.
appearance and all that.
But I have to say, you look very well. Your eyes
I'm
are
very
extremely
happy. Yeah.
twinkly and happy, and yeah.
Well, I'll tell you about the eye operation. They do a
Medical
twinkly
hour.
now. Do you know it's 2,500?
Yeah.
Puts a twinkle in your eye.
Yeah?
Last time we met, you were saying that you'd started writing a musical version of A Fish Called Wanda with your daughter,
With my
Camilla.
daughter Camilla, that's right.
Yeah, and you're still in the middle of that.
Well, what we're trying to do is we've actually boiled the story down, because what's quite interesting is if you have a 110-minute movie, you've got about half it
Right.
for a musical, because then you've got all the other songs and those kind of numbers. But Camilla and I got a couple of very keen ideas. One is we don't want the songs to go on very long.
Right.
We think that one of the weaknesses of a lot of musicals is the songs go on too long.
I could not
You
agree
do.
more.
Great.
Absolutely right.
So
Yep.
sometimes we'll just have a song that might be 3 verses and that's it.
Excellent.
And we're only going to have songs, hopefully, if they can be funny. I suppose we might have one touching
Sure.
song, but Camilla doesn't even want that. So we want to, and now we're writing lyrics. And I have a reasonably good sense of rhythm about words, but I don't know anything about songs. You remember I was in a Broadway musical, I wasn't allowed to sing, I told you that.
Yes, you told
So I'm
us,
so
yes.
terrible. So I sort of still have to find out what a middle 8 is, but I can write a reasonably rhythmic verse, and
Okay.
Camilla is far more talented than I am, and when we can get her out of the nail salon.
Well, there are many...
She's a real girlie.
Really, is she? Well, listen, waiting in the wings, we have to tell you, as you know, you've just come from the bar, David Cassidy and Duncan Bannatyne, but we are going to link them up with John briefly. Rufus, tell us about the celebrity hotline.
Listen, Richard, you know as well as I do that time and time again, there you are shopping, and a film crew comes up and insists you ask a question to people you don't know. We've seen it 1,000 times. We love it when we happen, am I right? Yeah. So we've taken some of those film clips to ask all 3 celebrities here gathered these questions. Question 1 is this.
Who would you hate to be stuck in a lift with?
A long jazz finish. Who would you hate to be stuck in a lift with, John Cleese?
Sarah Palin.
Strong
As
answer.
I announced on air recently, Michael is no longer the funniest player. And I just think she has the confidence of the truly stupid. You know, nobody is as confident as that unless they're utterly dim. And she can't speak English properly anyway. I mean, she speaks English like a second language, only she doesn't have a first one. No, I would avoid her at all costs.
Sarah Palin, by the way, who said that, she was an expert on foreign policy as a result of being able to see Russia from her house.
Yes.
Somebody I read on the internet, David Cassidy, said, I can see the moon from my window, am I an astronaut? Who would you hate to be stuck in a lift with?
Well, I'm afraid, John, I'm going to have to trump you on that one. As committed to stupidity as Sarah Palin is, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go you one better and say Paris Hilton.
Oh.
Yeah.
She is a...
How quickly they turn on you, too. What are you talking about?
There's a lot of Hilton fans here. No, they were booing the notion of Hilton.
Oh.
They're right with you.
Wow. That would be a very, very daunting task to spend. Am I on the 7th floor, 6th, 5th? So, yeah, I mean,
Well, there's a shortcut to that. If you ever find yourself in the company of Paris Hilton, it's not the 8th floor, it's the 7th circle of hell.
Yeah.
Duncan Bannatyne?
Oh, John Cleese. Come on. I mean, it's a serious situation. He'd be cracking jokes.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
on the floor laughing, you'd never get out the bloody thing, would you?
That's it. Heaven forfend a Scotsman found joy. So, Celebrity Helpline, question 2.
What's the most disgusting thing you've had in your mouth?
Quite a question to 3 people who work in show business. What, John Cleese, is the most disgusting thing you've had in your mouth, please, sir?
A cockroach. I was in prep school and I was eating a date pudding, and I discovered that one of the dates was a lot tougher than the other.
David Cassidy.
Wasn't Paris Hilton's. I gotta go with. I had a used Band-Aid for a salad. Yeah.
In a salad?
Salad.
In a fruit salad. Yeah. It was very bad.
Okay, so you used Band-Aid, Duncan Bannatyne.
Well, the French love them, and I had to try it, but snails, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get it.
Yeah.
Rich and Judy, you spend a lot of time in France.
Snails, yeah. We tried snails on this morning years ago. Horrible. Oh, no, you like them?
Limpet is truly disgusting.
I've never had a limpet.
I had that in Crete.
Did you?
And it's like swallowing the Atlantic Ocean. It is just marine-y.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got... Thank you for that, John.
So, on to our final question, and it is a doozy.
What's your favourite motorway?
We said they could ask any question, some of the finest minds in show business, but here we have it. What's your favourite motorway? John?
I like the M73. It goes from Reykjavik to Kuala Lumpur via Hobart.
Tasmania. Sorry, Hobart, Tasmania. That was all I was adding there. David, you spend a lot of time in this country. Come on, there's got to be a favourite.
Still waiting for that punchline, by the way.
Yeah, I know, I got nothing. I got nothing.
I got nothing either. In this country, well, as I've never driven in this country, I just came here via Knightsbridge.
Yeah, okay.
And there's one lane.
Yeah.
And a truck that's stuck in that one lane.
Sounds about right.
It took me an hour and 45 minutes to go a half a mile.
No.
So I'd have to say, whatever that road's called.
Technically, the A4, I'm afraid that's a disqualification.
Okay.
And Duncan, up and down to Scotland a lot.
Hour and 40 minutes to half a mile. You were looking at.
Yeah.
No, I live in the northeast of England, and of course my favourite motorway is the A1 because it takes me home to my loving wife and family after the show.
Just when we thought...
He's getting lucky tonight. He's getting lucky tonight.
Just when we thought it was all jokes, Bannatyne rounds it off with the A1. Still not a motorway, so doesn't count. Back to you, R&J.
Well, no, I think
Thank you,
you'll find it.
Rufus.
I think you'll find it's the A1M he was referring to there.
Only in parts, only in parts. It runs out being the A1M once you get to Peterborough, Richard. Don't play me at this.
Let's stop this male competitiveness, shall we? Especially about motorways. Sadly, at this point, John has to leave us, which is a
Yes, I
great
just
shame.
have much more important things to do.
Coming up after the break, David Cassidy meets a superfan and Duncan Bannatyne faces our ice cream taste challenge.
Uma Thurman stars in Quentin Tarantino's classic Kill Bill Volume 2, tonight at 10 on Watch.
It's here and improved. 7 age-defying effects to brighten, hydrate, smooth, refine the look of pores, even tone, reduce the look of lines, and lock in moisture all in one powerful little pump. So powerful that 4 out of 5 Easy Living readers would recommend new Olay Total Effects to a friend. New improved Total Effects. Olay, love the skin you're in.
You can have an inexpensive Christmas, a more relaxing Christmas, a bigger family Christmas. Because until Sunday, not only is every sofa and corner group in the DFS Winter Collection half price, but many are guaranteed to be in your home in time for a comfy Christmas. There's 4 years free credit and nothing to pay for the first year.
If you like bingo, you'll love jackpotcitybingo.com. At Jackpot City Bingo, we're now giving you free lunchtime and evening bingo. Plus, tickets start at just 1 penny. There's tons of exciting new games, lively chat, and great ways to make new friends. Visit jackpotcitybingo.com now to claim your free £20 welcome bonus. Jackpotcitybingo.com. It's the new home of online bingo.
From the creators of Finding Nemo, he may be made of metal, but Wall-E is all heart. The #1 animated film of the year is charming, hilarious, and full of wonder. Take home Disney Pixar's Wall-E on Disney Blu-ray and DVD Monday.
Velvet Hour.
The new fragrance by Kate Moss.
This is my favorite creamy mushroom pappardelle with Philly Light. I've got the pappardelle going into hot boiling water, a little bit of butter with some garlic and lemon thyme. Let that cook for a bit. Now, let's deal with the mushrooms. Very quickly chop your mushrooms. Okay, so the mushrooms go in. I've got some Philly light here, and all I need of this is a couple of tablespoons, and that should make my sauce lovely and creamy. I'm going to add half of this flat leaf parsley. Wonderful. Now that's looking already like a sauce, you see? What we're going to do is going to finish it off with putting this pasta into the sauce. You've got to add Parmigiano to a finishing touch for pasta. Fantastic. This is a lovely finished dish now. E via le pappardelle Philly light with mushroom sauce.
This is Iams, and this is other cat food. To keep me in tip-top condition, you only need to feed me this much Iams every day, whereas you'd have to feed me up to 4 of these. Apparently, gram for gram, Iams has more high-quality nutrition. But you have to check the label, because unfortunately, I can't read. I'm more than just a cat. I am an Iams cat.
And you can tell everybody that this is your song. Who wants to meet David? It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you like your new house when it's done. Until then, I'll say goodbye.
Join Sir Elton John, David Beckham and many more for Extreme All-Star Weekend.
Welcome home.
Next weekend from 11, exclusive to UK TV Style.
Hi, welcome back. This is a selection of the very best bits from last week's shows. And we start with a man who officially had more fans than Elvis, David Cassidy. It's always great to see you here in the UK. Are you here for a particular reason? You're touring?
I'm here really just to squelch the rumours that I'll never come back, but I may come back. And if I do, it'll be a long while. So I've got 3 shows, and
you're obviously going to do a show in London, one in Manchester, and
one in Glasgow.
One in Glasgow.
Well, speaking of the fan base, we've been keeping this back behind the curtains in the bar from you.
Ah,
okay. No, you like this. You like this. The David Cassidy fan club is, of course, still going strong here in the UK as it is in the US, and with that very much in the forefront of our minds, we rejoin mine host in the bar, Rufus.
That's right. Along those screaming terraces there at Heathrow, young women who grew up and put their dreams of David Cassidy behind them. But maybe some who kept them every night close to the very bosom of their hearts. One we went and met.
Hi, I'm Wendy, and this is my shrine to David Cassidy, and I'd like to show you a few of my things. This is the copy of the famous Rolling Stone, which obviously when it was released in 1972 none of us were allowed to own because it was a bit too risque. As you can imagine, there weren't very many 12-year-olds who were allowed to look at this sort of picture, certainly not where I came from anyway. Well, this is my very, very favourite prized possession from the 70s. It's a scrapbook that I probably started in 1971. And as you can see, it's full of all sorts of newspaper clippings. Well, this is a graph. I even recorded what happened to the songs, and they got to #1, look, 3 weeks in the charts, and it kind of fell down quite quickly. But it was #1 for 3 weeks. This is a T-shirt that a group of us made when David came over to do the Once in a Lifetime tour, and we thought it would be fun just to have a T-shirt showing the original pop idol and showing that he's still the best after all these years.
Now, obviously, a woman like that wouldn't be allowed anywhere near you. Or would she? She's right here. It's Wendy, you're right.
Yeah, you met her.
Wendy, thank you so much for ignoring the restraining order that David's had placed upon you. You bought the book with the big file.
I bought the book with me with the file, yes, it's here.
So, what is it that stopped you growing up? I think most people put these sort of, teen dreams behind them. You've carried on with it.
Yes, unfortunately, I have.
But why?
I don't know. I think it was just first love, and it just never died. And David kept coming back, and the more he came back, the more we still loved him.
No, you are...
I have to see you. And I've just... I had my cell phone, I lifted the restraining order, so... No, but I'd love to see you, Wendy, and honestly, I'm in shock and in awe, and I can only tell you how much I love it and appreciate it, and hope you're coming to see a show.
Well, hold tight, David. We don't know how crazy this woman is yet.
This is David's bottle.
What? What?
This is full of water, and this is actually from the concert that he gave in about 2002.
Well, do you know something, Wendy? I was pretty certain I would find you scary and a little cold. But actually, you're a delightful woman. David, you should come and meet this lady immediately after the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've all found a special place in our hearts for Wendy Wright. Thank you so much, Wendy. That was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Now, where's that bottle?
I
hope you don't mind, but I'm going to spit in it. No. But I am. I honestly wanted to drink, and I thought, why not? I'll see you in a bit.
You will, thank you.
Good to see you.
Hello.
I was just thinking, Duncan, I think you should go on tour. I can see you, you know, at the auditorium.
You probably need a job. I could offer you a little something.
Collect fans like Wendy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, she's sweet.
She's lovely.
She's
fantastic. Yeah.
I was reading an interview with you in one of the Sundays about a month ago, and they were saying the credit crunch is with us, and what do you think about banks and pensions? And you were, as usual, trenchant. You said pensions, nah. Banks, forget it. Bricks and mortar, you know. Serious investments. Do you have any money in the bank?
When did I say bricks and mortar?
You did. You did. Well, before the property crash. No, in the end, it's always a good. It's always a good
absolutely.
Investment,
Yeah, a great time to buy now.
Yeah.
Would you buy now, or would you wait another few months?
No, I think it's close to the bottom now.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah.
And
then
is that
when
a
it turns
Bannatyne
up, it'll
prediction?
just come up. Yeah.
That's a Bannatyne prediction. The housing slump is coming to an end.
Yeah, well, they might come down a little bit more, but it's close to the end. And when it goes up, it'll go up fast.
So get in now, maybe, if you've got a bit of spare cash.
Yeah.
So do you have any money in a bank? Or, I mean, other than that, would you need to sort of move around for business purposes? I mean, do you save with a bank? Do you have a pension fund?
No, I've no pension funds. I don't save. You know, my business will be what I use to live on.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I will never retire, because entrepreneurs don't retire. We just keep going because we enjoy it so much. It's just so fantastic.
But do you not have a pension?
It is amazing when you go back through your history and how you started out, and you were sitting on this with your first wife to be, sitting on a beach in Jersey and saying, 30 years old, not really a penny to your name, and you said, let's start a business, and you started a business in ice cream.
Actually, what I said to my ex-wife was, I said, let's go to the mainland, start a business and become millionaires. She says, yeah, OK then. She never thought it was going to last, that it was going to work out.
But what struck me about reading about your career was, I mean, the ice cream idea, you thought that was something you could do. You worked out over a week or so how much ice cream you needed to stock your van with, and which sold the most and all the rest of it. And you ended up running a fleet of vans. And then you went on to something completely different. You ran quality care homes, old people's homes, nurseries. And these were all inspired to some extent by your own personal experiences, in that you thought of your own mother might have needed to be put into a care home, and you went round and looked at them, and you thought they were ghastly, and therefore you decided you could do it much better. And you did. And later on with the nurseries, you did exactly the same thing. Your kids needed nursery education.
I couldn't find a place for both my children at the times I wanted in a nursery in Darlington, not because there wasn't good nurseries, but because all the good nurseries were full. And so I thought, well, I'll build a brand new one, and I did. And two of my children went to it.
And does that personal connection, I mean, even your fitness clubs were inspired by the fact that you broke a leg.
Yeah.
And you had to drive for ages to get to a gym.
No, more about this guy.
I'm just fascinated by
No, Richard, it sounds like she's read my autobiography. Anyone can do it by Duncan Bannatyne.
You do that every time. Is it still in print even? Is it still in print?
Of course it's still in print. It's still a top seller, yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that basically your entrepreneurship has been linked to your life. That basically you've involved your life in it. It's not just that you thought, OK, I'm going to go out and make 30 million quid.
No, it's integrated into your life.
That's right. And of course, I'm getting old now, and I'm starting to get all the creams on my face now to keep looking good. And so I've opened the chain of spas.
Okay.
Now, look, as we've already said, Duncan famously began his business career flogging ice screens from a van. There he is, in fact, with happy customers. And he says his years serving up cornets means that he can now identify virtually every flavour on the planet.
I don't believe it. No.
We are going to put him to the test with Rufus.
Come on in, Rufy.
The ice cream bearer.
Now, that's a job you were born to.
Now, trust me, you do not get a figure like this without knowing your way around a tub of ice cream. So, the rules of the ice cream test, Mr. Bannatyne, with your large claim, very simple.
I think what I actually said was, when I was in the ice cream business, 30 years ago, I could tell the difference between lines made and walls and any other make of ice cream.
I think you'll find this a slightly tougher test.
Yeah, this is
your spoon? Are you joining us?
No, I'm only going to watch it.
It's a thing to be watched and enjoyed, Mr. Cassidy.
There is one clue to give him, that all these different flavours are linked in some way to tonight's show.
That is right.
Okay.
The first one will be a good key in to how this game works.
Well, just
what are you feeling, DB?
This is disgusting. This is like kissing John Cleese. This is John Cleese.
It's John Cleese ice cream.
I think it tastes of meat.
Yeah, it's a gamey kind of meat. And if we were going to have anything gamey with a link to...
Which we might shoot out of the sky.
You're exactly right. It is Superman.
Is it of the family of partridge?
It is a partridge
ice cream. This is
that was easy, wasn't it?
You see, Duncan, you see how the game is played.
I have to say, it's horrible.
It is.
It's just horrible.
OK, B.
Disgusting.
OK, now remember, if we had partridge, what could this be? I'll give you a clue here. It's linked to the absent guest, John Cleese. Think what John...
Disgusting.
Apple.
Anything apple. There may be a hint of apple
it's not
there.
goldfish, is it?
Yes, right.
No, but if we'd have thought of that, it would
be
been.
goldfish.
Apple, celery.
Yes. Now, apple and celery are the ingredients in a...
Come on, Faulty Towers, you know.
Faulty Towers. Waldorf salad.
Waldorf salad.
Waldorf salad ice cream, Richard and Judy.
Actually, I don't mind that.
Yeah. I don't. It's horrible.
Is that all right? If those have been your opening shots, try the final.
There's only him left.
No. I see how much you're enjoying it there.
Come on,
Duncan,
go on, for heaven's sake.
Now this should be an absolute piece of cake.
That is horrible. I deeply regret eating that.
That is a fish called Wonder.
No, that is not. It is fishy, but
horrible.
It's Duncan.
OK.
I'm hoping you're going to really like this.
Yeah, that's lobster thermidor.
It is lobster thermidor!
Yeah.
Oh, why is it lobster thermidor?
Why? Well, that's my favourite dish.
It's your favourite dish! It was a lovely gift, Duncan!
It's vile, though. It is really vile. Of the three of them, that's the vilest.
Except for the garlic ice cream you once tried, do you remember?
Oh, yes.
Oh, God, that's
I'm sorry, but Waldorf salad should beat garlic ice cream.
How did they get the flavours into that? Did they kind of mince up a lot and mix it in with the
no, they just they took a lobster and smacked it repeatedly into a tub of walls.
Well, I did say it was like a fish called Wonder. You know, actually, that ice cream tasted almost as bad as the effect of the colour of that tie on my retinas.
Oh, come on now.
Oh, come on.
This tie, like that ice cream, can't be licked.
Well, after the break, we've got Jason Donovan, Richard Bryars, and the glamorous star of Spooks, Miranda Raisin.
See the first series of Torchwood right from the start. Tonight at 9 on Watch.